You can still have a pretty magical Christmas even if you're flat out broke. But what happens when you're heartbroken too? Stephanie Rivera's kids knew they couldn't afford to spend money on gifts. So over the last 3 years, Christmas time came and went, with Stephanie still struggling to keep their heads above water. The kids knew they were lucky to have each other, and that in itself is life's most important gift. But they no longer believed in the spirit of Christmas. But one day Santa decided to visit their home and pay them a little visit. Soon enough, he started pulling out gifts from his magical sack and changed their entire world. The last few Christmases weren't easy for Stephanie Rivera. The Las Vegas mother had been struggling for most of her life. At 7 years old, she unfortunately lost her mother, but the tragedy didn't end there. Stephanie kept bouncing from one adoptive home into another, and by the time she was 15 years old, she was homeless and roaming the streets. By 16, Stephanie was pregnant with her first child. She knew she needed to get her life together for the sake of her child. And ever since then, Stephanie's been struggling to feed her family and pay bills. She had to make sacrifices to keep their heads above water, but it was all worth it as long as her kids were happy. Unbeknownst to Stephanie, her life was about to do a complete 180 when someone sent an anonymous letter to the local Fox News affiliate. Fox 5 Surprise Squad's Operation North Pole's program is all about keeping the spirit of Christmas alive, and reporter Monica Jackson believed no one needed their help more than Stephanie and her family. They knew that gifts were pretty much the last thing on their list, but they were about to learn so much more about this young mom's life struggles. Once the reporter and Santa knocked on Stephanie's door, she greeted them with a big smile on her face. She was completely bewildered. Once they started talking, the reporter learned that Stephanie had an extremely rough life. She was bouncing a lot on her own, but she wasn't about to stay put. The hardworking mom even went back to school to get her high school diploma, despite having 3 kids who needed her around the clock. Now Stephanie was focused on getting an esthetician degree, which will undoubtedly help her find better employment opportunities and increase her income. The young mom knew she had a long road ahead, but nothing in life was simply handed to her, so she was up for the challenge. My childhood was pretty rough. My mom died when I was 7. I grew up from family to family, and each time I kept going, it was just a new household I had to go to. So I never really got to do Christmas, she said. But before Stephanie could finish, Santa started pulling out gift after gift, which left the struggling mom completely speechless. These 2 kind strangers surprised her with a few thoughtful gifts, which quickly had her tearing up and breaking down. Stephanie couldn't believe her eyes. Just the fact that these 2 strangers were willing to bring joy to her home was enough for her. But the struggling mom of 3 had no idea just how life-changing those gifts really were. The first was tickets to a Fox 5 family event for her entire family. Then Stephanie was gifted a $500 gift card from Albertsons grocery store. But there was more. Stephanie received $2,000 in cash that would allow her to buy Christmas gifts. Not getting any Christmas gifts had become sort of the routine at Stephanie's household. It's been years since her kids had gotten any gifts, and now Stephanie would be able to make their dreams come true. But the most incredible gift she got was a $3,000 scholarship to finish her esthetician training program. Stephanie was at a loss for words. The reporter and Santa had to struggle to keep themselves together. It was such a beautiful yet heartbreaking moment. Stephanie had been through so much in life, and she was finally catching a break. They wanted her to take a few moments to herself and enjoy the holidays without having to think about their finances. Over 700,000 people saw Fox 5 Las Vegas's video and undoubtedly felt inspired to spread the joy and help others in need. Stephanie and her family are bound to spend a wonderful Christmas thanks to this amazing crew. Clearly, the magic of Christmas has been restored. It's so wonderful to see someone who's struggling get a helping hand. It makes us wish we could go out there and help all the people who work hard but still have to fight to stay above the poverty line.